Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning for me. Good day, everybody. Today, I've been playing with a few bits over the past couple of days, and I've been trying to do a Mokume softer, if that makes sense. And you'll see what I mean as we progress, but I'm going to use quite a bit of translucent, just a bit of colour, and just switch it up a bit, try something a bit different. I'm going to call it Mokume Bokeh because it just looks like it's out of focus, if that makes sense. But it looks I'm really happy with how it turned out, considering I was just playing with scraps. So what we're going to need is some translucent clay. As usual, guys, I'm using Cernit. Use whichever translucent you happen to have. You're going to need a little bit of white clay. So that's oh, the stickers cut off. That's Cernit white, Cernit translucent, a bit of Cernit white, and I'm just going to use two colours. I've got a spot of red here, and I have got a bit of amber translucent, but I am going to mix these with a little bit of translucent because I really want to wash the colour down. So what I'll do is, before we start, I'll just show you. I'm probably going to do 50-50. We don't need a lot for this, guys, because we're not going to put layers of colour in. We're going to put smudges of colour in. So I've got some red clay there, and there's probably more than enough for what I need, to be honest. Let me think. So I'm literally just going to use that much. I'll just cut some translucent off, and I'm going to use about the same amount again of translucent, so 50-50, to really take that colour down. So it'll still be vibrant. I'll show you on this. This was just a scrap I was playing with. It'll still be a vibrant red, but it'll be very soft, not in your face red. And I'm going to just take a bit of this amber, and I'm just going to do the same. Take a piece of that, and of course this is already quite translucent, guys, so I'll just put about a smaller amount with that. And then we're just going to need some translucent conditioned. Remember my little tip about conditioning, you know, so you can get it as clear as possible. I'll leave a little link thing up here if you haven't seen my conditioning video. And we just need a bit of white. We're just going to put a piece on the top to give us a line through when we're pushing our shapes in. Oh, so I'll just cut myself a little bit of white off. I didn't do that very well, did I? It got caught on the plastic. So there we go, guys, a little bit of white. We don't need much at all. I'm just going to make a small block, enough for a couple of pendants, and a fair bit of translucent because we're going to put it loads of layers of translucent through. I'll go and get this conditioned. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, guys, I've got some translucent here. I did it in 2 batches, then I wouldn't be handling too much. I've got some of the watered down translucent and red, and the translucent and amber, and I've just got a small piece of white. These are on a 0, guys. These are on a 3. That's on a 0. Right, now then, First we're going to cut some little squares out, so let's just do that while I'm chatting. Ooh. Just make sure I get some proper squares as well, because I've done a few not squares, if that makes sense. Right, start off with a square of translucent, and then what we're going to do, guys, is, if I can find my little teeny tiny plunger, what we're going to do is, let me just make sure this is clean. I'm just using a tiny round cutter, and I'm just going to cut some circles out. In these colours, and what we're going to do is, as randomly as you like, we're going to put a colour on, and we're just going to smudge it out so there's no harsh edges anywhere, and we're not going to cover the whole of the clay. We're just going to do smudges of colour. So make sure when you're doing it that, well, obviously your clay needs to be soft to be able to smudge it, but just don't cover the whole bit of your clay. Just do little random splodges, and of course you'll flatten your bit out a bit, but it'll be fine. Then I'm just going to take another piece of translucent and just stretch this out a bit, and I'm going to cover that. Just do my best not to trap any air in there. And then we're going to do it again with the amber. Let me just get a few spots, and you could do thinner pieces, you could do thicker pieces, you know, just go with the flow, guys. Make it your own, if you get what I mean. You know, I can set you off running with an idea, and I'm kind of not doing it in the exact same spot as I did the previous layer, if that makes sense. Let's bring that back together. Let's get another piece of translucent. I will just stretch this one out again a little bit, just to make sure that it's covered the colour. And again, just being mindful that I'm not trapping too much air in there. And back to the red. It's quite therapeutic, this, guys. Just smudging your colours in. Do you know, on that one I think I might just do two. Let's get another translucent on top. Trapped there, I think. There. blob in the middle on this one. Just smudge that around. What have we got? Did I start with red? I did. I'll just do one more of each, guys, I think. Like I said, I don't want to make a massive block of it because it just ends up sat on my desk. And if your bits have started to harden a little bit, just warm them back up in your finger. Easily smudged then. Just soften this one up a bit as well. There we go, and I'll just do one more amber. Just stretch that out a bit. And of course you could just tear pieces off, guys, you know. I just thought it'd be easy to cut little circles out and smudge them instead of tearing pieces out. In fact, I'm not going to put a full piece on this corner. I'll just put a half piece if I can get it to come off. Smudge that around. Oh, crummy bits. Okay, so now we wouldn't we put, let me just pick these bits up, put a white on, cut it, stack it, but I don't want the white to double up through it. I want the white to just be a hint of a break in the Mokume. So let's just wipe these crumbs up. Let's give this a little roll. And then I'm going to cut it and stack it. I know I'm only going to do it once because our colours are quite thin now as it is. So I'm just going to do that. To show you the edge, you can see our little smudges of colour running through. And I'll just give that a roll. Make sure there's no air trapped. I'm going to just grab my square pairs and get this back into a square. And I can just see a tiny little air bubble there. Let's get rid of you. Don't want no pesky plaques, thank you very much. Okay, so I've got my square back, and now I'm going to just put a piece of white on the top. You could put two on if you think it's not going to pass through, guys, but I think one's plenty. Let's just make that a little bit smaller. Get this white on. Again, just doing my best to avoid bubbles. Just going to give it a little roll now to take the block a little bit lower. go. Now then, we can decide now what pattern we want to push through. Now when I was doing my test bits, I was using the little presses that Sarah does from Happy Hands UK. I think I might just freestyle this one and then maybe just dab a couple of holes in. In fact, I might use one of my little cutters and cut some holes in as well. I really like the look of when the holes are left in and you can see the background behind. Right, what shall I do? I'll get my trusty ruler that I like using. I think I might just use let's use this circle cutter. It's going to pop a couple of circles in, or well, I say circles, you know what I mean, curves into it. I'll just do that, and then I'm just going to push it back together. And then I think I'll just go through with my blade, my ruler edge, and just do a couple of radiating lines like so. Let's get this back together before I start poking holes in. Just make sure those pieces are really back together. That pattern I've just done, I could have used Sarah's circle, couldn't I? Silly girl. There we go. And I'm just going to pop some holes through for a bit of interest. And I think I'll squish them back together. Oh, come on, you daft thing. It's got a bit warm, so it's deforming. There we go. We're back. Just press that against the top. And then I think I'll just take my cutter, guys, and just take some holes all the way out, so you know I like the look of that. Just got to get this out now. And you could replug these holes with a colour, guys. We've done that a few times now, haven't we? You know, you can just roll up a bit of coloured clay and poke it in if you so wish. But I think I'm just going to have 3 random holes. Just again to add a bit of interest. Let's get these bits put away before I lose them. Okay, so we've got our stack, nice and bonny, some nice deformation going on, and I'm just going to let that rest a little bit, guys, because it is quite warm today here and the clay is quite sticky. So while we just let that rest, what I've done is I'm going to just make a simple pendant with it, with you, and I think I'll do a little bit more of an involved pendant and back it, maybe get a border or something. So I'll go and sort some cutters out and things I want to use. Maybe I want to condition some backing clay and the such. So I'll go and get that sorted, guys, and I'll see you in a sec. Hi guys, okay, this is rested. I just took the bit of red that was left, mixed it with that other scrap of red, just to tie a colour in for a backing. I've put it through on my mat to give it a texture. So I'm just going to cut this first slither off and just make a simple pendant, and then we'll take it up a notch, I think. So let's get a slice out of this front piece, and I think I'll take it on a little angle just to make sure I catch quite a bit of colour in there. There we go. And let's grab a couple of lolly sticks, make sure my roller's clean. I think I'll just take it down to a 1 veneer. Just stretch it out a bit. I've lost one of my little holes there, but we're not going to worry about that, guys, are we? I could always add, in fact I might do that. Let's just get this rolled out so I know it'll fit my cutter, and I'll just this is the cutter I'm going to use, so I'm just going to cut a couple of holes in, just so my background red pops through. Again, just to add a bit of interest, guys, something a bit different. So I think that'll work perfectly. Let's get this up and onto my backing. Just run my finger over that to make sure it's smooth, and find a little pokey tool to get them holes out. Oh, come on. Oh, I've messed that up, haven't I? Sod's law. Let's see if I can catch it with this. Nope. I shouldn't have laid my veneer over first, should I? Oh, got that one. Got that one. Just this pesky one doesn't want to come out. It's gone crumbly. Let's see if I can get it. I'm gonna say, guys, just blowing the crumbs out. It's not brilliant, but it'll do. Let me just soften that little edge off. There we go. Maybe I can position my cutter and get rid of that hole for that one. Right, bit of paper, let's give it a burnish. Get a nice smooth surface so we don't have to spend half our lives sanding. I've lost my little, oh there it is. So it's fatal for me tidying up. Give this a really good burnish. Make sure that surface is lovely and smooth. Oh, and look, my holes have gone down a bit. I must have put a bit too much pressure on it. It's really soft, my clay, at the minute, guys, so my holes have now disappeared on me. Let me pop that paper back on while I get it off, then I don't put any fingerprints on. Okay. Can't believe my little holes disappeared after all that fuss I made. Now then, what I might do is just totally ignore the holes, guys, as I've just ruined them. Let me turn this around. And maybe just catch those top two. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to catch those top two. Oh, I might put a bit of cling film on and make it rounded. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm all over the show, aren't I? Let's just get a bit of film. It's like making it smooth and I don't get any wrinkles when I'm cutting. Nothing worse than when you've burnished it and you get a wrinkle from the cling film. Okay, let's get this cut through. Beautiful. And I'll probably just put this on my little steel soap. Somebody asked questions about this the other day, guys. It's just one of those hand washing soaps that's supposed to get onion smells off your hands and garlic smells, but they're just a lovely little dome, aren't they? I think I saw Ludmilla using them and I thought, now that's a good little shape, so I had a look myself and bought some. Okay, let's get this picked up. Just a few little crumbs around the outside. I'll just move them. Pop that on there to give it just, and it just gives it a slight dome, guys. It's not a massive curve on it. Let's get it pressed down. Get my nail around those edges, make sure it's smooth. And I'll probably put a little bail on the back of this. You know, I kind of prefer that than sticking a pinch bail on. Nothing wrong with pinch bails, it's just with some stuff I don't like the pattern being disturbed by a bail being stuck there, if that makes sense. Right, so we've got that pendant, and I'll just get this scrap off here, and I can use the red to make a little bail. Why am I doing that now? Okay, now what I thought we'd do with this is cut a nice slither off, and we'll back it on a little bit of, I've conditioned some Opaline. We'll back a slither on some Opaline initially, and then I'm going to cover it round so it's got a border of Opaline as well. I hope that makes sense to you. I'll clean this. Oh, wrong blade. Just get my fine blade. And I am going to stand this up again, guys, just because I find it so much easier to cut doing it this way. Of course, you could take your little thin slithers off. I just seem to have a better control over what I'm doing. if I do that, I'm just going to stretch that out to get my holes back. Don't know which side I like. They're both pretty. Let's go for that. And I'm going to use this cutter, so I do need to stretch that out a little bit more. To make a thinner veneer, or a longer veneer should I say. In fact, what I might do is just gently pull it with my fingers a bit first. Then I can control that my little holes stay put. How's that doing? I just need it a touch longer, so roller, Kath, roller. I'm just going to gently roll from the middle outwards, like so, and then I'm going to pick it up and get my holes back. Blade. Oh, I've lost that one, I think. Oh no, it's back, it's back. Yeah, maybe I should have used a bigger cutter. I didn't think about them disappearing on me, did I? Let's lay it that way. And just make sure that that's flat. Perfect, and those holes look quite organic, don't they? So that's good. And my cutter might just miss that bottom one, or I might just catch it, we'll see. Can always manipulate it a little bit, can't we? Right, let's get this picked up. And oh, I better bring some of this in first, haven't I? Yeah, so this is just Opaline, guys. I just thought it would look better on a white than on a dark backing. Let's get this veneer on here. Smooth it through. Give it a little burnish. Let's use this bit of paper here. Remembering not to put too much pressure on this time, then I don't lose my holes. Just get that surface nice and smooth, and to be fair with what I'm going to do, it's going to need a lot of sanding, so I'm not going to stress. Okay, let's see if we can catch all three of those holes. Okay, now I'm not going to bother putting film over this, guys, because we're going to do a back wrap on this to get a lovely border on it. Okay, I'm going to cut there. Let's lift that off. I could make maybe a couple of little matching earrings. Just give that a smooth, get rid of that little dimple from the cutter. Get my other sock and thing. Just pop that out of the way. Oh, throwing it now. And we'll pop that on there just to give it a little bit of a curve. Again, not too worried about the sides, guys, because we're going to wrap it. So we've got two lovely pieces there. I might make some earrings with the scraps, guys, but I'll get these in the oven, then we can come back and wrap this piece. See you in a minute. Okay guys, this is part baked now. As you can see, I'm just going to grab a nail file and I'm just going to round that edge off, because obviously I didn't clean it up or anything and it's a little bit sharp, but that's all I'm going to do, is just quickly just take that sharpness off that edge. And then we need my trusty bit of sponge. You need a bit of backing clay. I've got some Opaline here, and it's on a 2 thickness. And we're basically just going to pop a little bit of liquid clay on the back of here. If I can get it to come out, that is. Just a little daub, you don't need a lot. Just give that a warm through with your finger and get it spread. Let's take it around the edges, and it's just to make sure that your backing bonds really, because I have done this without doing that, to be honest. If your clay is very soft, you probably won't need it. It's just mine's been sat out a while. So what I'm going to do is I'll do it that way, then I've got more space. I'm just going to offer that up to the back and just smooth it with my fingers first, just to make sure that it's made contact, and then I'm going to change to my sponge and just press with my sponge. This will put a bit of texture in as well. Just make sure, and then I'm just going to start easing this up around the edge gently. And then what I like to do is just go and cut this excess off. Then you're not playing with too much clay. Oh, bit of Doris fluff. Just makes it a bit easier to handle, guys, than messing with a big lump of clay. Okay, let's get this back up. Oh, and on my sponge, and I'm just going to get that to fold up around that edge, just gently. Don't want to overstretch it or you'll get thin spots. Just position that a bit better. There we go. Now the fiddly bit. You're just going to keep your blade level with your clay, and then you're just going to trim. I find it easier going up, you might find it easier going down, and I'm just going to initially take this excess off. There we go. Okay, I've got the excess off. I can just go around and gently pat that now into shape. Make sure I've not got any weird bits. And then again, just keeping your blade at an angle. Go around and trim. And it is a bit fiddly, guys. I'm still oh, I've caught it a bit there. I can only do this when my hands are being nice, if that makes sense. If I'm all really fingers and thumbs there, I just haven't got the patience to do it. But just take your time. I meant to get my husband to trim one of my little blades down to do it. But I haven't got him to do that yet. And I'm just going around patting again, just making sure that outside edge is nice and smooth. And that everything's stuck down. Oh, let me just clean this blade off a bit. And you can catch little bits when you've sanded it, guys. But I'm hoping that this final pass for me will be enough. Get off that sponge, I'm struggling. It's just about trying to keep your blade at that same angle all the way around, which I say is a bit of a knack, but once you've got it, you've got it. Nearly done. Okay, just a couple of little bits there. Just going to rub my finger around. Let's put it back on the sponge. Just rub my finger around, make sure that's smoothed in, and I've got a smooth line. And I've got a couple, can you just see there, a couple of little bits, but I'm not going to worry about them because I know when we're sanding that those pieces will just come off because the wafer thin. We just get this little bit here. It's kind of a bit harder on your angles. There we go. And I'm just smoothing it with my finger, making sure that it's stuck and it's neat. So with a bit of rubbing you can get some of those pieces off, but I'm not, oh, got a blob of clay stuck on my finger. I don't worry about it too much because, like I say, when we're sanding you can sort those bits out. You just want to make sure that your shape is nice. and smooth. There we go. Okay, could be slightly neater. I know I've got a couple of bits there, guys, but like I say, when we sand, all that will disappear, so I'm not going to stress about it. So I'm going to pop this back in. This other piece, I've just popped a little bail on the back, so I'll pop that back in for baking, and I will probably put a bail on the back of this. Let me just get them finger marks out of there. Oh, I didn't realise my oven was still ticking. I will probably put a little bail on the back of this as well. Let me just get that little bit there, it's annoying me. There. Yeah, I'll probably put a little bail on the back of this as well when we're done, or when it's part baked, but I won't show you that bit, guys. This video is probably going to be long enough as it is. So I'll pop these back in to finish baking. We'll come back and then we can sand and get everything nice and bonny. See you in a min. Hi guys, all done. So there's the one that I've put the backing on, and as you can see with my sanding, it got rid of those funny bits. So that's that one, and there's this one. Got a lovely shine on them, which the Cernit helps, to be fair. Just let me give that a bit of a buff. It's got a sticky fingerprint on. There we go. So we've got a lovely shine on that one as well. And I just love these colours. They actually remind me of something like, I don't know, when you're on holiday and you get a funky drink, or like melons, or I don't know. It's hard for you to see the depth because you can see bits of colour through the other translucent as well. So yeah, there's those, and I just made a couple of little earrings to go with this pendant. I just put an eye pin in the top and popped them on an ear hoop. So there's those, really pretty. I probably will make something else with this. I think I might do a couple of slithers so that it blends into the Opaline, rather than, you know, one big piece. But we'll see. You'll probably see that in the photos, guys, if I do it. But I'm going to leave you there now with my little out of focus Mokume. There's no harsh edges, everything's blended, very soft, and I love how even though the orange and the yellow and the red didn't actually come into contact, we're getting a little orange hue running through where the translucency is causing the colours to mix. Right guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye.